So the Goswami, or like they asked set of six questions to Sutta Goswami, which answering those six questions leads finally to the sixth question about the appearance of Srimad Bhagavat. And so Sutta Goswami explains how Narada Muni, how Vyasadeva was morose, and Narada Muni inspired him. In spite of composing all the other scriptures, uh, Vyasadeva was not happy. So here Narada Muni appears in front of Vyasadeva and inspires him to write a scripture that exclusively glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And with that inspiration and blessings from Narada Muni, so Vyasadeva starts composing Srimad Bhagavatam. With then after composing it, then he recites it to his son Sukadeva Goswami. So that is where the seventh chapter, like in the seventh chapter, it starts like that, and it leads to Bhagavatam starts with um, describing the son of Drona punished in the seventh chapter, how Ashwatthama tried to kill Parikshit Maharaj, who was within the womb of his mother Uttara, and how Krishna protected him. And further, it leads till the 19th chapter, where Parikshit Maharaj was unjustly cursed by a Brahmana boy called Shringi. And Maharaj Parikshit immediately, he didn't retaliate, rather he accepted it as a plan of the Supreme Lord. So he retired from his occupational duty as a king or an emperor, and then he decided to uh, fast unto death. And at that moment, by divine arrangement, like Sukadeva Goswami also comes in that assembly, and there are all the other sages as well. And Parish Maharaj asks two questions to Sukadeva Goswami. The two questions are, okay, what generally a living entity must do, how he must act under all circumstances throughout his life, and the most important thing is, especially for one, what is the duty one must perform, especially one who is about to die. So these are questions. One is how we must live our life. Second question is actually the most important question comes like, okay, how one is about to die must what he must do. So then comes the second canto, first and second chapter, we heard till the verse 12. The answers to these two questions. First, it starts with six questions of the sages. Then that kind of like gave rise to two more questions from Parikshit Maharaj with other details in between. And then till 12th verse or the 11th verse, we see what is the answers to those two questions. And the 12th verse, if one lives a life as per the process given, and what is the what one receives. So this is the 12th verse which describes what is the benefit one gets by living a life as per what is given in Bhagavatam. That's 12th or hearing Bhagavatam. So in the 13th verse, once again, okay, the Rishi, Saunaka Rishi, now they are very eager. So now they are asking, what else did Parikshit Maharaj inquire from Sukadeva Goswami? And we are also very eager. There's a curiosity. There's on the part of Saunaka Rishi saying, okay, they very well aware. Okay, it is just not. The Bhagavatam would not have ended just after these two questions. Okay, Maharaj Parikshit would have been eager to inquire further. Okay, what is that? We would also like to know. So this is what they're asking in this verse, and especially this verse, they describe son of Vyasadeva Srila Sukadeva Goswami as a kavi, poetic. That is, he has described things in a very poetic manner, in a very, very attractive way. Okay? So this kavi, then Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he writes, okay, this kavi being very poetic in the expression is one of the 26 qualities of a devotee. And Prabhupada goes on to enumerate those 26 qualities. Those are like devotee is kind, peaceful, truthful, equable, faultless, magnanimous, mild, clean, non possessive, well wisher to all, satisfied, surrendered to Krishna, Krishna Eka Sharanam. This is the crowning jewel of all qualities, based on which all the rest of the qualities are are developed. Without hankering, simple, fixed, self-controlled, balanced eater, sane, mannerly, prideless, grave, sympathetic, friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. But this one quality, poetic, is actually uh, highlighted in this verse. And these qualities develop, or Krishna decorates one with these qualities. Okay, one, if you one sincerely tries to cultivate devotional service, and devotional service, as we know, starts with Shravana, from the process of hearing. So these are 26 qualities. Actually, this comes from Chaitanya Charitamrita, given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And you can see here, I think Prabhupada, at least I've seen till now, Prabhupada has given, enumerated these 26 qualities multiple times at different places in his writings. But at least recently I came across another place. This is in third canto also. Prabhupada enumerates these 26 qualities of a devotees. So just giving us a clue, it's very important for us actually. With bhakti as a center, we should also strive to develop these qualities. And these qualities are decorated in the body of a devotee or bestowed upon a devotee, one who sincerely tries to practice devotional service. So that's where, just give me a moment. So that takes us to the uh, next verse, 14th verse. Maharaj actually covers these two verses in this lecture. The 14th verse goes like this: O learned Sutta Goswami, please continue to explain such topics to us, because we are all eager to hear. Besides that, topics which result in the discussion of the Lord Hari, should certainly be discussed in the assembly of devotees. Now the clue how one can develop these qualities, one of the is given here, that these topics uh, related to Supreme Lord should certainly be discussed in the assembly of devotees. Now the Sadhu Sangha plays a role here, where how we must hear. So on this verse, um, during while explaining this verse, Maharaj was saying how, as a devotee, uh, he just gave a brief glimpse of his life, of his attraction for Bhagavatam, but he didn't go. He's not a one who puts himself in the center when he discusses. He just makes a brief mention, and how we can also, how he is also inspiring us what we can also do here. Um, Maharaj was saying how during his course of his travel over many years, um, he makes it a point during his travel that there are some of his god brothers or even other devotees who are not his god brothers but devotees who have a lot of affection or attraction for Srimad Bhagavatam. And Maharaj was saying, okay, whenever I get a chance to travel to these places, I eagerly look forward to meeting these devotees and discuss Bhagavatam with them. And he was saying, just if you say, like, he just mentioned one line, but I'm just little bit, I'm not that eloquent to succinctly put it, so I'm just saying it. He's saying, okay, I try to put the rest of the my services aside and just try, when I'm with the devotee, I try to uh, hear the appreciation of Bhagavatam from those devotees, and I share my appreciations, inspirations, and whatever assimilations and realizations with these devotees. And he said, maybe you all can do the same thing time to time in some forum. Okay, share what you liked, what or we liked, right? What we liked when we read Bhagavatam, and this can also be done even with the family members in the case of husband and wife, or even with children. We can just give up some snippets, small portions of what we liked in Bhagavatam, okay, what message we assimilate or we want to make it as part of our life, and how we can apply it as well. So this is just, he said, okay, this is what hearing Bhagavatam in the association of devotees means, that we discuss Krishna Katha. Then just while when Maharaj said something about this, um, I recently had an opportunity to have a brief interaction or a brief meeting with a devotee who also likes Bhagavatam very much, and he was sharing something with me about his spiritual master, or even among the group of devotees he was sharing. Um, the devotee was sharing his spiritual master's name is His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, and he was saying um, when Maharaj was in London, probably at that time, I think maybe he was not a sannyasi or initiating spiritual master, all those things. But he came to Krishna consciousness probably a little later, when he was a little older as well, maybe 60 plus or 70, something like that. I don't know exactly the details. He was serving in London, the temple called Bhaktivedanta Manor. This is the temple which was is um, a big land which George Harrison, one of the Beatles singer, like he donated to is Srila Prabhupada, and devotees then they have a temple there, and His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj was serving in the temple. Um, since he was elderly, so the temple president actually is a big property. There are so many services. So the temple president was trying to allocate services to different devotees. When it came to Maharaj, okay, maybe at the time it was not Maharaj, uh, he was not sure what, because this is a very elderly person as well. Okay, so he was not sure what kind of, because he understood that he cannot assign a lot of physically exhaustive service or very menial service to him. So he was just thinking on, he has also some health issues, all those things are there. So he was just thinking what kind of service I can give to assign to such an elderly person. So at that time, Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj told the temple president, I can do Bhagavatam Seva. So then he told, okay, every day from morning to evening, I will just keep on. I can read Bhagavatam and verses, followed by translation and purport. And whichever devotee, whoever is interested, they can join me for whatever time they can afford. We can read, discuss, and then the devotee can go and take care of other services. But I will keep on continuing reading Bhagavatam, or like Prabhupada's purports, translation, and slokas as well. I'll keep on doing this from morning to evening. So this way, any devotee, any point of anyone who comes to the temple, they get to hear Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the day, from morning to evening, other than this Aarti time, all those things. So, and the temple president was very much uh, happy that he expressed that, okay, he never thought that reading Bhagavatam is actually a seva. Okay, the first time, okay, when Maharaj proposed this idea, he said, okay, first time I could understand that, okay, oh, reading Bhagavatam, spending time with Bhagavatam is actually a service. Yeah. And he was very happy that, okay, and he encouraged him, okay, you do it. And Maharaj was doing it for a long period of time, just doing this seva from morning to evening, was just reading Bhagavatam, and devotees joined him in those readings. So one can understand, like, Same thing, okay. And another instance, when Maharaj at the time he became initiating spiritual master, and he was doing some puja to his deities. Had he called this devotee and asked him, okay, during the when he was doing the deity service, he was asked him, "Can you recite Bhagavatam?" When I'm so Harikatha. So essentially, we do kirtan during deity worship. Here he asked the devotee to actually recite Bhagavatam. So the devotee went there and he was reciting Bhagavatam. He was reading the sloka, then translation, sloka, translation. He did it for a few verses. And Maharaj turned around, stopped the deity worship, turned around and asked him, "Why are you not reading the purports?" And essentially, what he meant is, without Srila Prabhupada's purports, we cannot understand the mystery of Bhagavatam. So don't skip the purports. The purports are the essence. What we get, whatever we want to know, whatever we are hearing, and the clarity by reading Bhagavatam comes through Prabhupada. The potency is actually diffused only when we try to understand Srila Prabhupada's purport. And he said, don't ever try to skip Prabhupada's purport. When we can, okay, so that's happened. Okay, so essentially what he was saying is, okay, and one more time, when Srila Prabhupada, I heard it or read it somewhere, but when some devotee during Prabhupada's time went to Srila Prabhupada asked him, "Prabhupada, shall we just," because they wanted to finish Bhagavatam quickly, so they asked Prabhupada, "Okay, can we just read translation and go forward?" And Srila Prabhupada told them. He didn't say yes or no. Rather, Prabhupada told them, Hare Krishna. So he told them, okay, the purpose is a place where I have shared my realizations. If you don't read the purpose, how do you understand me? And how do you understand Bhagavatam? So that's what same thing Prabhupada also said. So it is also said these purports are actually Srila Prabhupada's transcendental expression of his ecstasy. Is ecstatic manifestation or these purports. So these purpose gives, and when we see these, when you see like appreciation, when we hear from Maharaj, as well as Rompa Swami Maharaj, or as well as Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj and other devotees, they feel connection with Srila Prabhupada in these purports. So that's why we come to this point where Rupa Goswami is actually saying, okay, Prabhupada starts this purport. So it talks with, please continue to explain such topics to us because we're all eager to hear. So this is where in Bhakti Rasamrita, Prabhupada starts the purport actually with Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Devotion verse. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yataharam Upainjataha Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairage Muchate. So when we go to the 7th chapter, it starts with, looks like a very mundane topic about how 7th chapter is all about, right? It starts with like how the Ashwatthama is trying to kill uh, Parikshit Maharaj and even the Pandavas, all those discussion, the skullduggery and the plot, assassination, all those things are there. Okay, some just look like it is like a movie. Intricacies, politics, and all those societal things, all those things. But what it means, Harikatha does not mean. Uh, uh, Harikatha means, I would say, instead of saying it does not mean, Harikatha means um, how everything, uh, uh, anything that is in relationship with Krishna, that is also Harikatha. It doesn't start directly with glorifying the Supreme Lord. Okay, it starts with the devotees of the Lord, uh, their situation, and how the Lord protects them. So anything in relationship with the Lord, okay, all the paraphernalia or the associates, okay, nothing is considered to be mundane. or Harikatha does not mean just it's only the activities of the Lord. It also includes the activities of the associates of the Lord. It also includes the history of this land. Okay, not the mundane history what we are looking at, but everything in relation to the Lord. And that's how Prabhupada starts this purport. It says, okay, even mundane things, if doubted in service of Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna, are accepted as transcendental. And then he goes to this place where, like, how epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, though apparently from outwardly it looks like, okay, these are some historical narrations. Now, unfortunately, people call these histories as mythology. Okay, it's a myth. Myth means something just a cooked up, didn't really happen, all those things, right? So that's unfortunate situation right now. But actually, these epics are actually the fifth Veda. Okay, they are non-different from the four Vedas. Many times, then Prabhupada then goes to criticize people who actually don't accept the authority of Mahabharata and Ramayana, and they say, though Ramayana, Mahabharata, it is said, okay, and Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for less intelligent class of men, uh, but that it does not mean for it is meant for less intelligent other, it does not mean, okay, the quality of the work is any less compared to the Vedas, because Vedas themselves declare, in the lecture Maharaj goes to discuss this, Veda themselves declare, this Mahabharata, Ramayana and the Puranas must be accepted as the fifth Veda, and it is said like that. And great authorities have accepted it. So since Bhagavad Gita is also part of the Mahabharata, and it is as instructions for the for all the people to engage ourselves in hearing this Harikatha. Right? That's what it is. Just give me. And how these Harikathas, once again, we go to the place where how this Harikatha must be received, like, or must be discussed. It must be discussed among the devotees, right? That's how the potency is actually released, um, and one gets to understand. Otherwise, when we just hear this from some professional readers or one who don't have the right faith and one who has not received this Harikatha from a bona fide disciplic line, then we don't get to understand, and it just then becomes, over a period of time, mythological stories. Like, it is very unbelievable of like how Ramachandra could construct a bridge across the ocean, and the things that are described in Mahabharata, how Kunti could call all these demigods and could get a child from them, or is it even ethically right, a married woman, how she can beget child from other persons, and then how a lady, how Draupadi could marry five husbands. All these things then becomes like if you don't receive this knowledge from the right source, what happens? All this, we use our mundane ethics and mundane logic and try to either justify. Okay, people start justifying. Even I started some articles as well, justifying live-in relationships with respect to Puranas, and how like the relationship is transactional based, where like choose to beget a child, you go to a person, just like us now, like surrogate mothers and all those things are happening, no? Like then people start quoting here and there from Ramayana, Mahabharata, here and there, oh, this is happening since time immemorial, it is there in the scriptures, we will also do it. So all this justification comes, and then the uh, entire society becomes polluted here. Okay, when we try to when we don't receive, or when it's not discussed in the assembly of devotees. And that's what Srila Prabhupada goes on to next. Okay, first the thing is, like, he stresses like we need to how everything should be done in relation to Krishna, And that can happen only in the association of devotees, how we learn under a guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Then if you don't do that, what happens? Then the potency is not completely released, and then Mahabharata and Puranas loses the importance, or like they're getting misused. And that's what Srila Prabhupada writes here. The difficulty is that such literatures, when discussed by professional men, appear to be mundane literature like histories or epics, because there are so many historical facts and figures. It is said here, therefore, that such literature should be discussed only in the assembly of devotees. Unless they are discussed by devotees, I'm just reading from Prabhupada's purport, such literatures cannot be released by higher class of men. So, the first section deals about Srila Prabhupada writing like this. Then he goes to the uh, next section. The next section of the purport, it talks about uh, then how and actually here is where actually Maharaj appreciates Prabhupada's writings in purport. He calls or he writes, okay, Prabhupada's purports are like very poetic. So especially here when he came to this second section, which Maharaj said, I don't want to summarize it. I don't because Prabhupada has written it so beautifully, it will be very difficult for me to even paraphrase it or summarize it. It's so beautiful. So Maharaj started reading from Srila Prabhupada's purport. So this is what the second section of this purport, 14th verse. It says, so we are moving from okay, the professional men, how they when we heard, okay, we may take it as a historical fact, figures, information kind of thing, or we can even go and misuse it as well. Now he go to this another category of people who don't understand or who don't accept Bhagavatam or Mahabharata, Ramayana as it is. So what Prabhupada talks about this, okay, that second category, all of you may know who Prabhupada will refer to here. It is those impersonalists. So here Prabhupada writes, so the conclusion is that the Lord is not impersonal in the ultimate issue. He is the supreme person and he has different activities. He is the leader of all living entities and he descends at his will and is by his personal energy to reclaim the fallen souls. Thus, he plays exactly like the social, political, or religious leaders, because such roles ultimately culminate into discussion of the topics of the Lord. All such preliminary topics are also transcendental. So Prabhupada says here, even though what is the purpose of Lord's appearance? Paritranaya sadhuna, to attract the living entities. Okay, and sometimes he plays the role, or most of the times he plays the role of this, or in his pastime, he plays this role of different social, political, and religious character. This is just not an information, but this is for us to get attracted and to have something to discuss about. Instead of discussing some mundane topics or mundane like historical narrations of the Mughal emperor, this and that, all those things, rather there's a better occupation given to us, that we must better occupation given to us, that we have opportunity here about the lineage of Sri Ramachandra, the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu, and all those like Dhruva Maharaj, and the lineage of Yudhishthir Maharaj. All those things are related to Krishna, and as well as the lineage of Yaduvamsa and everything, and related kings there. And this is the reason the Supreme Lord has appeared, and he's a person. And all his activities are all not mundane. Okay, it looks mundane. Okay, you just look at normal day-to-day activity of what we do, but here Prabhupada is saying all such preliminary topics are all actually transcendental. That is the way of spiritualizing the civic activities of the human society. Men have inclinations for studying history and many other mundane literatures. So let them be dovetailed with the transcendental service of the Lord, and all of them will turn to the topics relished by the devotees. So essentially, it's a call saying, okay, whatever we see, how we have to think about how it is all connected, how to see things from the point of view of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever things we see around this world, we feel, we do, like immediately, like our nature or our second nature should be like something, or our primary nature should be serious. Any situations we are put in. So there's a call here is like how to see everything in relation to Krishna. So, and Maharaj here goes and describes, he went and said, okay, a small Prabhupada story. He said, like, this is from narrated by Burijana Prabhu. So, because here it talks about impersonalist. Okay, I'll just also read one more line of Srila Prabhupada's purport here before we go to the Prabhupada story. The propaganda that the Lord is impersonal, that he has no activity, that he is dumb stone without any name or form, has encouraged people to become godless, faithless demons. And the more they deviate from the transcendental activities of the Lord, the more they become accustomed to mundane activities that only clear their path to hell instead of return them home back to God. So in this verse, in these two lines, three lines, Prabhupada is expressing transcendental anger towards the impersonalist. First of all, by following the impersonalism, they are committing offense towards the Lord because they consider the Lord's activity, his form, even the Archamurti here talks about dumb stone, which means that the Archa Vigraha, which we worship in the temple, at home, all those things, they consider all these things to be just mundane things, not transcendental forms or transcendental activities. And this has encouraged people, okay, the impersonalists, they not only spoil themselves, and they also spoil other people's, and they make other people become godless, faithless demons because they are deviating away. Because once, if we consider Krishna's activities as to be very like our day mundane activities, then it means that we don't have appreciation for it. Okay, now Krishna is not removed. Krishna is removed from that picture. We consider him to be one among ourselves. So it means what happens? Like one heart doesn't get purified, and when the heart is not purified, what happens? We'll once again engage in mundane activities in the sense, okay, we there are a group of people, there are some exceptional people. What they will do? They will go and imitate whatever Krishna does. And there's another group that they will deny all these activities of Krishna to be just a mythological story. So this is what this is happening. And Prabhupada says, and they inspire people to go to hell instead of taking them back to Godhead. This is the transcendental anger of a devotee. First of all, there are two aspects to it. One is hearing the Supreme Lord is formless, Supreme Lord has no qualities, Supreme Lord's activities are just mundane, just like an ordinary person. He takes birth and he's little superhuman. He does a lot of other things which we normally can do. But those are all like okay, part of quality of goodness activities. And then he also dies. This is what they say. So a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, when he hears such kind of discussion happening or that kind of propagation happening, naturally he feels anger towards the other one. Just like if somebody who is our near and dear, somebody comes and tells us, okay, this person does not have any personality at all. Essentially, what we say is, okay, if somebody comes, say something about our parents or our children or a wife or a husband, something like that, who we are very close to or friend, okay, he comes, okay, oh, this guy is a very boring person. This guy doesn't have any personality at all. It's a flair. There's no flair in him. Okay, like we typically criticize. Normally, we criticize all the actresses if they don't have that uh, personality, like screen presence, right? So if somebody says like that, okay, for a near and dear one, it's a harsh comment. And suppose like Krishna, who is full of opulences, and devotees who are relishing that opulences or relishing that mellows, devotional, then what happens? Like it becomes um, it's difficult for them to tolerate it. That's why here Srila Prabhupada, so Prabhupada became constantly angry, saying, okay, what do they know about the personality of the God? So now we come to the Prabhupada story. Burijana Prabhu was saying, I think it happened in Hong Kong. Burijana Prabhu was arranged for uh, a program in which Srila Prabhupada uh, is supposed to give a lecture. But the organizers also invited one more a prominent impersonalist, okay, and they are more favorable towards that impersonalist. At the time, like maybe ISKCON was not that big or Prabhupada was not well known at the point in time. So, but it was arranged, and the organizers they're in a big auditorium, and in such that okay, in one of the they created two Vyasasan to for the special guest, the chief guest to sit, and one is the very opulently decorated big one, the other one is a small like Vyasasan. Okay, intended the big one will go to the impersonalist. They wanted the impersonalist that guru to sit there, and Prabhupada will get the small Vyasasan. So Prabhupada reached the venue first, and he got to the stage, and he directly went and sat on the bigger one. Okay, and the organizers, okay, they were little uh, not happy with it. Okay, they were saying, oh, okay, they were trying to tell Prabhupada actually the other seat is for you. This is for the other group. They didn't say okay, the bigger one, smaller one. Uh, they just said, oh, Prabhupada, can you go switch here? And Prabhupada acted as if, okay, he didn't understand what they are saying, and he didn't budge. Okay, he was sitting there, then the next impersonal guru came. He sat in the other seat, or they arranged for a bigger one, and then he sat there, and he started speaking. That impersonalist guru started speaking first, and he started speaking about the oneness. He started about how we are all God, all those things. Prabhupada waited for a few minutes, could not tolerate it. There was a mic next to Prabhupada. He just picked up the microphone and started on top of like he was already speaking, but Prabhupada took up the mic and he loudly declared, okay, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. There is nothing more to be said. And he just kept the microphone and he walked away. He left the stage and he walked out. So this is same thing we can see, okay, where Maharaj is reciting about the transcendental anger of Prabhupada. When he sees, okay, this impersonalist person is not only corrupting him, like he's not only following that path, as well as like he's also encouraging others to do that. Okay, and we read from scriptures how this impersonalists, even though there are some impersonalists who are very strict in their sadhana of like sense control and mind control, most of the population, it's very difficult to follow that agenda, and most of them they become just armchair philosophers. That's what is Maharaj speaks. Okay, all these people who were considering themselves to be like this impersonalist followers, they become this armchair philosophers. They just hear something, nothing applied in their life, but just keep on just talking about how the impersonal is the highest philosophy, and that's what here Srila Prabhupada says. They clear their way or clear their path to hell instead of return them back to Godhead. So one can understand here like how, and Prabhupada also quotes how is Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, okay, tried his best to actually preach vigorously against this impersonalist philosophy. And he created this as he took the orders of his spiritual master Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and he took the instructions from his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and to apply to spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And 64 matas came. And Prabhupada said, after my Guru Maharaj's disappearance, Bhaktisiddhanta's disappearance, somehow like his disciples started fighting among themselves how who will control the mud and all those things, and the preaching stopped because of the vacuum created due to no active preaching. Other time Prabhupada was saying, this is a historical fact, was saying that vacuum was actually filled by Ramakrishna mission. They say okay, these Vaishnavas are not preaching, and they took like followed by Ramakrishna and Vivekananda and all those things. They filled, especially in the Bengal area, they filled up this vacuum of propagating this impersonal philosophy. So once again here, Maharaj is saying how it is very important for us, okay, that we hear and as well as do our part in trying to spread or give Krishna to others. That is also another meaning of the discussing, because it is always then he mentions, okay, that's very nice. Okay, I'm just going to read what Maharaj said, okay, instead of paraphrasing. So Maharaj says something like this, okay. So we are all asked to preach. Now there's a problem when there is vigorous preaching. And the persons who are preachers do not represent the message properly. So the thing is, okay, we have to preach. But for example, we ourselves, okay, as preachers, if we don't represent the message properly, then there's a problem. Then their Krishna conscious qualities are not carefully cultivated. And the impurities come out through their preaching. So through preaching, all our anathas can come out. And there is squabbling among the individuals and so forth and so on. So both must be there. The cultivation of proper quality and very enthusiastically giving this message to others and propagating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam and living the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Both are imperative. So one of the ways that the quality of Krishna consciousness is to be cultivated is identified here. That is discussing the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam not as an academic affair, but as a spiritual exchange. So Maharaj is now encouraging us that yes, we need to propagate this message, which is very important, so that the impersonalists don't fill up the vacuum. If we leave it open, then they will take it. So it's important for us to be out there giving Krishna to others. But at the same time, if you want to do that, what we must do, what I must do, he says, okay, we must cultivate these qualities, Vaishnava qualities, okay, very enthusiastic, like Vaishnava qualities, and how we do that, okay, we have to live our life or mold our life as per the messages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Both are important. So one way is to have a forum like that, whatever we are having in the morning, to uh, have a forum to actually discuss. It could be a big forum or small forum where we can share our inspirations from Bhagavatam. That includes our appreciation of Srila Prabhupada's purport, trying to hear it, assimilate it, then realize it. So this is how it is. We have been encouraged to study Srimad Bhagavatam and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. So I will just stop here. Maybe I went on and on for close to more than 30 minutes. Sorry about that. Hare Krishna. It was not a summary, actually. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, anything, any corrections?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the good discussion and the summary. Thank you. It was nice listening to you all the time.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. And the point one I liked very much is like reading Bhagavatam is like service. That point I liked it very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Beautifully explained these two purports. You added in the middle a couple of examples as well. So Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj reading Srimad Bhagavatam from morning to evening, how much he released Srimad Bhagavatam, how much he has tasted on Srimad Bhagavatam. So that inspires a lot. And also Maharaj releases Srimad Bhagavatam a lot. So all these things are very inspiring. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Any
Hare Krishna,
questions?
Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the nice class. You are told about this Prabhupada purports. extrinsic manifestation of the purpose. The person who presents the Bhagavatam also gets into ecstasy, and the person who hears the Bhagavatam also, I hope they are also getting into ecstasy. That's why we should hear in the company of devotees, because that atmosphere itself will be ecstatic. That I was wondering, because normally the person who gives Bhagavatam, he gives bhakti also along with the Bhagavatam, but that's why we should always, from bhaktas, we should hear the Bhagavatam. But I was wondering why you should have the company of devotees also. Then I thought, they also get into ecstasy, and entire atmosphere will be ecstatic. So you get benefited by that. Really very nice lecture, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, there are no more questions or.
So Hare Krishna Prabhu, has nicely explained. So here actually in Prabhupada first time there were impersonalists are there. So here if we say only one word, then actually maybe we are missing the opportunity to speak about our knowledge and all. So in that time, whether we should debate those things or we should
Or with an impersonalist?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is also, I didn't cover the question answer session. Okay, there's one devotee asked this question. Okay, if you meet maybe I will encourage you to hear from, so this is a 48-minute lecture. Maybe you can hear from 41 minutes onwards. Okay, so the same question the devotee asked to Maharaj. Okay. So what we need to do when we meet a impersonalist? Okay, so Maharaj gives like 2-3 minutes answer for it. Okay, so it's a nice thing to hear from Maharaj. Okay, probably I will encourage you to hear this. Okay, lecture, the last at least 5-6 minutes. Yeah.
Yes, because recently one prominent speaker went to speak this impersonal way. Like impersonal way means they organized some program, pyramid, in Andhra state there is some pyramid kind of thing is there, like meditation. So their speaker went to speak on this topic. So but whether they took right way, because they are impersonalists. There is no God, something that kind of. So there they preached this way. So
Yes,
yeah.
people like, see, whatever Prabhupada did, okay, we may not be able to imitate. Okay, Prabhupada is in that level. He could get angry and just walk away. Okay, see, for example, there are two different ways. Like for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Varanasi, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to an assembly of these impersonalists, Prakashananda Saraswati. Okay, he took a very, very humble position. He didn't even go and sit among them. He was just sitting near the place where they washed their legs. He was sitting there, and immediately the leader of the impersonalists came and invited him. Why are you sitting here? First time, actually, the impersonalist actually spoke the truth about the absolute truth. He's saying, "You are Supreme Lord Himself. Why are you sitting here?" So he told that, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went and then spoke to this impersonalists. That's one way like Mahaprabhu took. But if you look at the way Srila Prabhupada acted, there was a big asan, the small one. Prabhupada went and took the biggest one. Here, Prabhupada did not exhibit any false humility. Prabhupada is acting like the representative of Krishna. He is actually the bona fide representative of Krishna, not that other impersonalist. And he took the best opportunity and best facility which is available, which is the best seat in the house. He took it as representative of Krishna, because Krishna and his representative should get the best of things. Prabhupada did not act in any haughty way or anything like that. Oh, I need the biggest one. No. But Prabhupada made a point saying, okay, I am the actually bona fide representative of Krishna. So I'm here to glorify Krishna. So Krishna should get the best thing. So that's how Prabhupada dealt with it. Okay, Prabhupada did not go and sit the small one or down, all the anything like that. He exhibited a different, considering Mahaprabhu, he did something very different. So here also Maharaj says, based on our capacity. So sometimes Maharaj he was saying, okay, we don't have to speak 5 minutes to have impersonalists. Okay, they may not, because most of the current people who even follow the impersonalists, it's a very watered down. It's not even Shankaracharya's philosophy. Okay, it's a very watered down and polluted philosophy. That's even recently there was a big controversy came. I don't know whether I think it was Dwaraka Sankaracharya or Puri Sankaracharya. He criticized people who are following Sai Baba. He's saying, where in scriptures it is said one can worship Sai Baba. Then then people started revolting and see in India everything is about freedom of speech. No, anything you hurt the sentiment of 10 people, then they can file a case and all those things will happen. Okay, any set of group, you cannot speak anything in the name of political correctness, social correctness. You cannot speak anything. Even the truth cannot be spoken. But he asked the question. He asked a very valid question. Where in scriptures, okay, you find the references to worship Sai Baba, that Shirdi Sai Baba. Okay, he was referring to that at that point. So if you look at it, the followers who are impulse, because the followers of Sai Baba, all these people are what? We are all God. Okay, somebody has realized God, so we'll worship him till we realize, till we understand we are also God. The moment we understand we are God, then we start worshipping ourselves. We ask others to worship ours. So this is a very watered down version. That's why Prabhupada says these are like going to hell activities. So sometimes it's very difficult. All these people who are impersonalists, they are armchair philosophers. They are not truly into what the philosophy is. So sometimes like even somebody who knows about impersonalism is based on our capacity, we discuss with them, or like discussion need not be a 5-minute lecture. It can be just one sentence how Srila Prabhupada disproves or shows inconsistency in that philosophy. So we need to be a little bit expert or kavi or like poetic in a way how we speak to them. We can be pleasing at the same time. You have to make a point, and it could be a one statement. It need not be underlines discussion. That's what essence he speaks in this book.
Yes, true, got it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it's already 7:28. Okay, we will end here. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Srila
Thank you,
Prabhupada
Prabhu.
ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यो च पतितां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.